Hello, welcome to week 4. I apologize for uploading this a couple days late, but we had some changes this week. So this is week 4. We are going to be making an adjustment to what we're doing, but after a year and a half of being in a pandemic, I think that we have learned the skill of flexibility and it'll be great. So we're going to be reading chapter 5 for our first synchronous day and working through some Google Slides, and then for this week, you need to be reading chapter 6 for your asynchronous homework. So like I said, we're switching things up. Instead of watching a film this week, we are changing things around and going to be moving forward without watching the film. If you see an update in your grade and you're not particularly happy, or you think that your grade has dropped significantly, it's probably just because you have a missing assignment. Once you turn that in and it's finished, your grade should go back to where it should be. It's just because it's only week 4 and we don't have a ton of assignments in the grade book yet, so make sure you're checking on that and turning in any late work. So this week we are writing, to start the first synchronous day, we're writing a letter to a teacher, past or present, that you have had that you really admire, a teacher that has helped you, inspired you, made a positive impact on your life in some sort of way. So you're going to write it on a piece of paper, and then on a sticky note, you're going to tell me the teacher's name, the school they were at when they taught you, and if you can remember what grade, because this will help me be able to figure out where to send that note to get it to the right teacher. And then this is our first writing prompt, so pause this video and answer it. You can read that question. Okay, so let's bounce off of that and do some review. In chapter 4, we talk about how Trevor didn't really understand that he was being treated differently because of the color of his skin. He just kind of thought he was being treated differently because he's Trevor. And he talks about this chocolate analogy, about how his perspective, he knew that people had different skin tones and colors and people looked different, but he just kind of thought about it like chocolate. There's different variations of chocolate, but it's all still chocolate, and it's the same with people. And he talks about language and how important language is, and being multilingual really helped him, with English being the language of money. And he describes himself as a chameleon. He could change the way that he was seen or perceived based off of the language that he was speaking. And then he ends the chapter by talking about growing or starting to grow up in a Catholic school, private school, being very sheltered, and then once he moves to a new school, he kind of starts to see how different students of color interact with one another and what that looks like. So, synchronous day 1, we're reading chapter 5, so if you were absent for this day, you need to make sure you read that and answer these questions. I want you to tell me, what is one quality about Patricia that you think Trevor admired the most, and tell me why. Give me some examples from the text. And then going off this quote, I want you to tell me, do you agree or disagree with this? We tell people to follow their dreams, but you can only dream of what you can imagine. And depending on where you come from, your imagination can be quite limited. So asynchronous is reading chapter 6, called Loopholes, and finishing or working on these 2 assignments as well. So this is synchronous day 2. We are going to be working on a activity that will help us with citing and inference. So this is going to be a handout that we're doing in class. So if you're gone on either Thursday or Friday, please email me and I can send you a digital copy that you can work on. But this is going to help us with looking at evidence from a text, citing it, and then figuring out, how do I analyze that? What other details can I find and note? And then what is the inference, or what is my analysis of that? Okay, and then we're going to be doing something new. We're going to be using something called Actively Learn, and you have to create an account. It's free for students, so you're going to click on this link up here, and it'll take you to create an account. When you get to this portion, the code is right here. It's P9IBU. So you're going to type that in, and it'll get you connected with our class in this website. It's kind of like Google Classroom when you have to have a code to get in. So go ahead and do that. And once you have, you're going to be watching a video from Amy Tan. She is a very famous writer. She wrote the Joy Luck Club. which is a very famous book. It was turned into a movie, and she spoke at the White House a handful of years ago and talks kind of about some of the things that led her to write the book and some things about her life. And so you're going to watch that video on Actively Learn and answer those questions. So if you have any questions about how to get on there and do it, please let me know, because I do know it's probably unfamiliar for most of us. Okay, and then lastly, we have First Chapter Friday. So this week I'm showing you a classic novel, The Great Gatsby, but it's got a little bit of a twist. This version it's in graphic novel form, which is really cool. When you open it up, it kind of looks like this. So if you are a big fan of comics or graphic novels of any kind, and lots of visuals, I think you would really like this. It's in our classroom library on the bookshelf, so if you would like to take a look at it, let me know. That is all I have for us for week 4. If you have any questions, please email me.